Good afternoon, everyone. This is my my 29th video, I believe, and I apologize to anyone. Um, I couldn't do this because I had my audio done, and I had my stuff. I had my one of my daughters to fix it for me last night. There was no audio, there was no nothing. So I got one of my daughters to fix it for me. So um, I am doing now Robert George Irwin. He was born in 1907 and he died in 1975. And his nickname was Beekman Hill Murders. Uh, he was an artist, he was a sculptor, and he was a reoccurring mental health hospital patient who pleaded guilty to killing three people. So, and just uh, at the back, the last video I did was Alfredo Gallon Spotolo. The last video I did, I forgot to say that when he got sentenced to in prison, he got 142 years and 3 months and to life. And his release date is 2028 after serving 25 years in prison. So 142 years and 3 months. Hey, it's good. I mean, it's not good, but you know. But yeah, so now go back to this guy. On the Easter weekend in 1937, Beekman Hill area of the New York City Turtle Bay neighborhood, he did a plea bargain for the courts to keep him in prison for life, and they have also have a version of insanity defense. One sentence, he was deemed definitely insane by shrinks, psychiatrists, whoever that kind of you know did his thing, paperwork. I call them shrinks, so because I got one. Hey, they works. So he spent the rest of his life with a secure mental institution. The son of evangelist parents, Irwin was reportedly he was how everybody was born in a hospital or so anyway this guy was born in a tent on an old fashioned camp meeting on an old grounds of Portland, Oregon. However, he was actually born in an ROA, um, Seco Park near Pasadena, California. He was he was named for the nearly rivers as a park, and one of his father's favorite theology, Francis P. Lyon. Hence, he entered the life as P. Lyon Arroyo Seco Irwin. He later changed his name to much to this horror of his devout mother. His devout mother, she was abusive and whatnot. Evangelist. See, I grew up Catholic, so So yeah, he later changed his name. His family was church people. I have to say, I don't like church people. I don't even like the church. To me, I burn all the churches down. I wouldn't care less if there's people in it or not. So, and that's just me, right? I just can't stand church. So, yeah. So, family was church people. The father has deserted them when he was 3 years old, which left them impoverished, poor. Family court said that Irwin could learn more of a trade at state reformatory. He took up sculpting. He soon idolized Lorado Taft, one of the leading American sculptors. He was considered brilliant in errating and Errating, so or ICM. So in the first violent, at the time of violence, he tried to masculate himself using a razor. So basically, masculate is cutting off your man parts, with the razor. So he was considered to be committed to be a state mental hospital where he stayed for the year after he discharged. He have he moved into a rooming house owned by Mary Goodine. He then he got evacuated. Or in He was in love with her daughter Ethel, but it wasn't returned. So he was been receiving further treatment from mental hospitals by then. Ethel Goodine had went got married Joseph Kudner, and he made a sculpture of Ethel. Uh, Irwin made a sculpture of Ethel with his cobra around her neck. I love snakes. I just got bitten by one quite a few years ago, but I love snakes. I had two snakes around me, pythons. But see, if the pythons or any snakes think you're scared, they'll squeeze. And if they don't if you're not scared, they won't squeeze. So that's how I perceived it. So yeah, by then Ethel Goodines had went on to get married to Joseph Speaking, and he made a sculpture wearing a cobra around her neck. Irwin enrolled in a university, but expelled course. He got expelled of his uh, mental instability. Like he wasn't stable. So uh, he then rented a rooming house again, several block several blocks away from Mary Goodine rooming house. So after considering and reflecting on of the idea of drowning himself, he really likes trying to commit suicide, doesn't he? Oh wow. Well, I'm pretty sure he had a bad life. But himself drowning himself in the East River, Helmstead, walked he instant walked to the Gildings Rooms house on Easter, March 28, 1937, Easter Sunday. Relatives of the Gedines found Mrs. Gedine and Victoria, another daughter of hers, her youngest, married daughter, were strangled in Victoria's room, partially clothed. Mary and Victoria has been strangled, and Mrs. Gedine was been stabbed as well. In a nearby room was the balding of Frank Burring, and he was deaf English waiter, uh, uh, writer, had been stabbed many times. Around 3 a.m., Victoria returned. This is how he stabbed her. Victoria returned drunk from her date, and Irwin waited for her and killed her. The, the cops had turned their attention to Mary's ex-husband Joseph Gideon. That didn't that didn't pan out. He changed their focus on Irwin. The they were all out manhunt for the Irwin. He struck that the over the thought that Irwin was capable of murders. The cops didn't buy it at one point. He was people weren't satisfied. Didn't think he would kill, and the cops kind of said he can. So, and everybody's human. Anybody can kill. Including me. Right. Once a person snaps, then that's it. There's no and ifs and buts. They go and kill, or they commit suicide. So, so returned, killed her. The cops didn't find out her murders. The cops didn't buy it because her psychotic pathic background shows he is insane. That's why cops didn't buy it because cops knew he'd kill because he was insane. So hey, I'm insane too. I think everyone's insane. In the late June of 1937, at pantry maid in a hotel saw a picture from in a pulp magazine. Uh, in June of 1937, a pantry maid in a hotel saw a picture from a pulp magazine and noticed a resemblance to a bar boy who had been in a hotel within 2 months under the name Bob Murray. And now and then after they saw him in the paper, asked him, he cleared he out, he asked him if that was him. And then after that, he cleared out his locker and disappeared soon after she she leased him about his last name, asked him about his last name when Wealthy he knew about Robert Irwin. Once again, Robert Irwin's search became the lead story on front page and daily news and nationwide manhunt. The next day, the newspaper received a call claiming he was Irwin and is offering to turn himself in, surrendered to the police. But the paper place thought it was a prank, so they dismissed his call. And the next day, however, the other newspaper received a similar call, took it seriously. After Irwin came to the newspaper office, he would say to surrender. Irwin would get paid $5,000 for his story of surrendering for a headline's earning confession. He then turned himself in up to the cops. In his published confession, Irwin stated that he only intended to kill Ethel Keating Kirchner because he lived with her in the world, but he loved her in the world, but accidentally shot another instead. If he was to go to Ethel's place to find her, he first struck her mum and her. Strangled. She asked him to leave. Irwin lawyer to leave. Irwin lawyer Samuel Lebowski had had one of the had the one of the represented the Scottsboro boys, who was reported to have saved 123. The reported Scots who reported to have saved 123 murders defendants from the death penalty appeared as Irwin's lawyer. Now he got and on a trial the writing they to death penalty. They're thinking of the death penalty. He made a deal to surrender to first degree murder and got sentenced to 139 years to life, 99 years for life for slaying of Burns, 20 years to life slaying of Victoria Keating, 20 years to life for Mary Keating slaying. Uh, yeah, that's good. That's 139 years to life. He then went to Sing. He then went to Sing Sing prison to be evacuated to be so the doctors could uh, deem him insane. So where the doctors ruled that Irwin was very definitely insane. World where I believed he lived for the rest of the life in the hospital for the criminally insane. He died of cancer in 1975 in the hospital. Sing Sing Hospital? I don't know. Probably in a mental institution over there. So yeah, he died in 1975, and that is where do I have it here? Where do I have it here? I had it, but I lost it now. Oh, so that was Robert George Irwin. So he died in 1975 in the hospital. So 139 years. The other guy was 147 years to 3 months. Well, oh well, it ain't me. So, but I am done and I apologize. So, my audio didn't work. So, now it is one of my daughters kind of, she fixed it. I'm happy. Now I could do my podcast. Thank you very much and have a nice afternoon.